Here's the problem with figuring out the right age to take Social Security, and that is you need to know when you're going to die. If you knew when you were going to die, you could just plug that number into a calculator, work backwards, and it would spit out the perfect age for you to start claiming Social Security. Fortunately or unfortunately, we don't know when we're going to die, so all you can do is take your own situation, get educated, and make the best decision possible. So what we're going to do is start by looking at a break-even chart. A break-even graph is a common visual aid that shows the cumulative lifetime benefits for your Social Security payments and your age. So on this graph, we have three different lines. The first one starts at 62, the second one starts at 67, and the third one starts at 70. The reason we have these is 62 is the earliest you can take Social Security, 67 is your full retirement age, and then 70 is the furthest you can delay while continuing to raise your benefits. So there's no benefit to delay past 70, that's where you're maxed out. So let's take a look. Let's say you pass away at age 67, well, it's obviously going to be most beneficial if you take your money as early as possible at age 62. As you get older, we start seeing these lines intersect. And when you see at age 79, that's the first intersection. So if you live past 79 years old, then you probably want to wait until you're 67. And the next intersection point here is at age 82. So if you live past 82 years old, you probably want to wait until you're 70 to claim. Now, before we go on, I want to be clear that this is really just in a vacuum. What I'm saying by that is we're not taking into account any external factors like investing your money. If you took your money early at age 62 and you invest it, got a rate of return, then these numbers are going to look much different. Which brings us to our second graph. This second graph shows you taking the money, getting it at 62, investing it at 4%, and all of a sudden those break-even numbers get pushed all the way into your late 80s. And so what does that tell you? That tells you if you don't need the money and you just want to invest it, and you invest it wisely and get a good return, most likely you're going to be ahead unless you live a really long time. So why not just file early, invest the money, and use it later at a higher return? Well, there's a few reasons you don't want to do that, and the main one is if you have earned income. So if you are still working for an employer or you're self-employed and you have self-employed income, then every dollar that you make over a certain threshold, it's about $21,000 in 2023, they're going to take money away from your benefit. Now they will pay it back, but you're losing time value of money. It gets messy. It's not worth it. So if you are earning income, you want to at least wait until your full retirement age, because at that age, they stop taking away from your benefit. Another reason not to file early is if this is your main source of income. So if you have not really saved much for retirement and you're heavily relying on Social Security, you probably want to continue to work a few more years, let it grow, because every year that you delay, it increases by 8%. So if there's no money to draw on in retirement, this is it, then you probably need to keep working and push that up as high as possible. Another reason to keep working is the survivor benefit. So as an example, if you are the older spouse and you're the higher earning spouse, your spouse is younger and they have a small Social Security payment, which means when you pass away, they're going to now take your Social Security payment. So if you can delay until 70, you live a good long life and they're 10 or 15 years younger than you pass away, now they take your big Social Security payment and then it lasts another 10 or 15 years. So that's something that's really important. That's a really good strategy if you have a much younger spouse that is a lower earning spouse as well. So younger and lower earning. Reasons you would file early, the first one is you just need the money. So maybe you're not able to work anymore and you need that money. You need to go ahead and take it. You don't want to be putting yourself in debt using credit cards or whatever else to pay for living expenses. If you need it, take it. Health and longevity is also really important, because if you don't have longevity in your family or your health is bad, you're not expecting to live that long, you probably want to put the program on the hook and start getting paid as long as possible. If you take the money early, you can also invest that money. We talked about that a little bit earlier. So if you're earning just 4 or 5 or 6%, you're going to do better than letting it sit in there and grow at 8% because that is simple, whereas if you're investing it, it's compounding, so it's earning on top of its own earnings. Maybe you're also just young and you want to enjoy the money. You just retired, you don't have any earned income, you're 62 years old, and you say, I want to start going on vacations, and this Social Security payment's really going to help me elevate my living standard. So that's a really good way to look at it, is you want to, live the rest of your life in comfort and be able to do the things that you weren't able to do while you were working. And then the final is a little more pessimistic, is just you don't trust the program. I don't blame you. I think the program's going to be around. It's too important for the U.S. retirement system. I'm not advocating for the program by any means, but it is really important. And if the U.S. government were to let it default and not pay out their promises, there'd be so many more problems than if they just figured out how to make those payments. So that's a good way to look at it. But I also understand if you're thinking, I want to get paid now, I just don't trust the program, or I think it's important to get that money in my hand right now. Feel free to hit that subscribe button. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.